Imagine a major supply line disruption hits your region. Maybe a severe storm floods key highways, or a widespread blackout knocks out refrigeration across distribution centers. Within the first 3 days, most families dip into what's already in the fridge and pantry. Meals feel normal. But by week 3, when restocking trucks are still delayed and store shelves stay thin, that's when the real strain shows up. Empty bread aisles, limited canned goods, and rising prices at the pump and checkout. You've seen the pattern in past events, and it repeats. The households that stay calm plan differently. They don't wait for the rush. They build quiet reserves based on real duration, not just the next few days. Most people prepare for comfort, not duration. Over the years, the same pattern has played out in regional shortages, natural events, and temporary supply crunches. People rush to stores when warnings hit, grabbing whatever looks familiar: chips, soda, fresh bread. Those carts empty fast because the items don't last or provide balanced nutrition. Panic buying creates more shortages and higher costs, and families end up stressed, arguing over limited options and burning through supplies too quickly. Smart households, the ones who stay steady, recognize the difference. They focus on foods that solve real problems over weeks and months, not hours. The key insight is this: duration-grade preparation isn't about hoarding everything. It's about choosing items that deliver reliable calories, nutrition, and usability when normal supply chains slow down. That calm comes from knowing your pantry can carry you through without constant worry. This brings us to a simple framework that turns ordinary pantry stocking into a real strategy. 3 factors decide whether a food belongs in a serious reserve. First, shelf life, how long it stays safe and edible without refrigeration or special conditions. Second, nutrition density, how much actual value it packs in terms of calories, protein, vitamins, and sustained energy per dollar and per pound. Third, versatility, how many different meals or uses it supports, so your family doesn't get bored or waste anything. When you apply this framework, choices become clear instead of random. You stop buying things that look good on a shelf but fail after 10 days. You start selecting items that work together, stretch resources, and keep everyone fed and functional. Based on that exact framework, long shelf life, high nutrition density, and real versatility, here are the 7 foods smart households are quietly adding to their pantries right now. These aren't exotic survival rations. They're practical, affordable grocery items you can find today, and they form a balanced foundation when disruptions last longer than a weekend. Let's start with the long shelf life staples that form the backbone. First is white rice. This one delivers around 1,700 calories per pound, cooks with minimal fuel or water. Once you have a basic method, and when stored properly in airtight containers or sealed bags, it can remain good for decades in a cool, dry spot. It solves the core problem of running out of filling carbohydrates that keep energy levels stable without needing constant refrigeration. In hot or humid climates, keep it elevated off concrete floors and check seals regularly. But in most regions, it's one of the easiest staples to maintain. A 20 or 25-pound bag costs very little per serving and stretches into dozens of meals when paired with simple additions. Next in this group is dried beans or lentils. These pack protein and fiber that rice alone can't provide, helping maintain muscle and digestion over extended periods. They store indefinitely when kept dry and sealed, often lasting 10 to 30 years or more with proper packaging. The problem they solve is the lack of affordable, shelf-stable protein that doesn't rely on fresh meat or refrigeration. In colder northern climates, they cook nicely with minimal extra effort. In warmer southern areas, focus on smaller portions and airtight storage to guard against any moisture. Cost per calorie is excellent, especially in bulk, making them a high-value choice for any serious reserve. The second group focuses on high-nutrition density items that deliver more than just empty calories. Third on the list is peanut butter or other nut butters. This is calorie-dense fuel in a jar, hundreds of calories per serving plus healthy fats and some protein that keep you satisfied longer. Unopened jars last 1 to 2 years or more in a pantry, and even after opening, they hold up well if kept cool. It solves the challenge of quick energy without cooking and adds flavor that makes basic meals more appealing. Storage is straightforward, but watch for oil separation in warmer garages or attics. Keep it in consistent room temperature if possible. In regions with temperature swings, a basement or closet works best. Pound for pound and dollar for dollar, few foods give this much sustained value. Fourth is canned tuna, salmon, or chicken. These provide complete protein that supports immune function and strength when fresh options are limited. Commercial canning gives them a shelf life of several years beyond the printed date when stored in a stable environment. They solve the protein gap that many pantries miss during longer disruptions, and they require zero cooking if needed. In coastal or humid areas, check cans for any swelling or rust. Inland and drier climates see fewer issues. The cost per value here is strong because one can turn plain rice or beans into a complete meal, stretching your other staples further. Fifth comes rolled oats or quick oats. They offer sustained energy from complex carbs and fiber, plus they cook quickly with hot water, saving fuel. Properly stored, they last years in original containers or much longer when repackaged. This one addresses the problem of breakfast or quick meals that keep blood sugar steady instead of spiking and crashing. Versatile for porridge, baking mixes, or even thickening soups. In colder climates, they feel comforting and warming. In hotter regions, they work well as no-cook overnight-style options if you have water. Nutrition density is solid, and the price per serving stays low even in bulk. Now the third group, morale and versatility boosters that keep things from feeling monotonous. Sixth is powdered milk or shelf-stable milk alternatives in cans or boxes. It delivers calcium, protein, and the ability to make familiar foods like oatmeal, soups, or even simple baked goods taste normal. Unopened, it lasts 1 to 2 years or longer in nitrogen-packed forms. The problem it solves is the emotional drain of missing everyday comforts that help families stay grounded. In dairy-heavy regions, it blends seamlessly. In areas with water quality concerns, it provides a reliable mixing base. Storage vulnerability is mainly to moisture, so keep packages sealed and dry. Seventh is honey or real maple syrup in smaller sealed containers. Pure honey never truly spoils if kept sealed. It has natural antimicrobial properties and can last indefinitely. It adds quick calories, sweetness for morale, and works as a flavor enhancer or even minor wound care in a pinch. This solves the issue of bland meals wearing down family spirits over weeks. A little goes a long way, so storage space is minimal. In humid southern climates, watch for any crystallization, but it's still safe. Drier western or northern areas have almost zero issues. Cost per use is reasonable because you use small amounts for big impact. These 7 work together. Rice and beans give the base, Peanut butter and canned proteins add density and completeness. Oats provide quick options. Powdered milk brings familiarity. And honey lifts the overall experience. Applied as a set, they cover calories, macros, and mental well-being without wasting space or money. After building this kind of reserve, it's worth looking at the real economics. Many of these items deliver hundreds or even thousands of calories for just pennies per serving when bought in reasonable bulk or on standard sales. Compare that to fresh produce or ready meals that spoil quickly, and the value becomes clear. You're not spending more overall. You're shifting spending toward items that actually stay usable. Fuel efficiency matters too. Oats and rice cook fast or need less water than some alternatives, stretching propane or wood resources. Storage and rotation keep everything practical. Use a simple first-in, first-out system. Place newer purchases behind older ones and incorporate them into normal meals, so nothing sits forgotten. Most of these foods have low vulnerability when kept in cool, dark, dry spots, away from temperature swings or pests. A basic garage shelf, closet, or underbed bin works for many households. One common mistake even experienced homeowners make is buying large quantities of these foods without a rotation plan or without testing how their family actually eats them. They fill buckets or boxes, feel prepared, then discover months later that the kids won't touch plain beans or the rice tastes off because it wasn't stored quite right. The result is wasted money, wasted space, and a false sense of security. The fix is simple. Start smaller, cook with the items regularly, adjust flavors to what your household likes, and rotate steadily. That turns a static stockpile into a living, useful pantry. Beyond the physical side, these 7 foods support something just as important: your family's morale and psychology. When days stretch into weeks without normal routines, small, familiar tastes make a big difference. A warm bowl of oatmeal with a drizzle of honey feels like normal life. Peanut butter on crackers or tuna mixed into rice becomes a comforting meal instead of survival rations. Mental resilience matters because stress and arguments rise when people feel deprived or uncertain about the next meal. Foods that provide steady energy reduce mood swings, while versatile options let you create variety so meals don't feel repetitive. That calm at the table helps everyone think clearer, sleep better, and work together instead of wearing down. In longer disruptions, this psychological edge can matter as much as the calories themselves. What changes when the situation lasts beyond 30 days? The same 7 foods scale effectively if you've built a reasonable quantity and rotation habit. Rice and beans become daily foundations that stretch with small additions. Canned proteins and peanut butter continue providing dense nutrition without extra cooking demands. Oats and powdered milk keep breakfast reliable and morale steady. Honey remains a constant, small luxury. You'll want to monitor water use for cooking and consider simple sprouting of lentils or beans for fresh greens if conditions allow. Realistic expectations help. These items won't replace every fresh vegetable or dairy forever, but they prevent the sharp drop-off that catches most families unprepared. Continue rotating and supplementing with any available fresh items as supply lines recover. The goal is steady coverage, not perfection. So what's your next calm step? Look at your current pantry through this same framework of shelf life, nutrition, and versatility. Pick 1 or 2 of these 7 to add this week in amounts that feel manageable for your space and budget. Build gradually so it becomes part of normal life rather than a big project. What's one item from this list you're thinking of adding first? Or what's your biggest concern when it comes to longer disruptions? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and it helps shape future topics. Preparation removes uncertainty. The calm household is the prepared household. Stay steady, plan smart, and take care.